What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Countdown Scouting Network. I'm your host, Joey Garcia, and today we are getting the safeties for the 2024 Summer Scouting Series. We have three positions left. We have safeties, we have corners coming on Monday, and then on Wednesday, we'll have quarterback. So we're almost finished with this series. I appreciate you guys stopping by and learning these guys with me before we get to watch them in this upcoming season, which is about a month away. All right, so number 5, let's go to Utah and get Cole Bishop. He is 6'2", 205 pounds, and he's very fluid hips. The only thing that I just am not a huge fan of is his tackling ability. He's fine in zone. He's fine in man coverage. He doesn't have the best speed. So kind of having him in slot might be a little bit of an issue. But he locks down tight ends really, really well. He's got good length. He's got good size to him where he's not afraid to get physical with these tight ends. So that's probably the only man coverage responsibilities that you're going to want with him. But he's got very fluid hips. He glides changing direction. It's almost like he's very efficient with it. He loses no momentum switching direction. So I like this pick. I wanted to put him a little bit higher, but just that he doesn't have any elite traits to him. I wanted him on the list, but I couldn't find it in me to put him any higher than this. Going to number 4. This is probably my favorite on the list. He's not the best on the list, obviously, but he's probably my favorite to watch. Is Jalen Catalon from Arkansas. 5'10", 200 pounds. He's very thickly built, and he's very versatile in zone. He can play single high, cover 2, cover 3, play the robber role and come down. He can play really any zone, and he loves to come down and thump against the run. He's a big run stopper. You don't want him playing the nickel very much. The money backer is what they call it now, just because he's not a great man-to-man guy. He's kind of condensed and built thickly, and he doesn't really move all too well. But the biggest thing against him, if all that stuff wasn't going on, if the injury stuff wasn't going on, and this is what we've got as a prospect, I mean, I don't know how he's not a top 2, like a top 55, top 60 pick. I really don't know how he wouldn't be, but the injuries are a serious concern with him. I think he'll fall down boards. I have him as my number 4 guy. I wanted to get him on the list just because he is such a fun watch, but I hope he stays healthy this year. If he stays healthy this year, he's going to be a fun watch at Arkansas. Our number 3 guy will go over to the other side of the country with USC, with Caleb Bullock. He is very long, very lanky. You wish he had a little bit more weight on him. He's 6'3", 180 pounds, and you can see in the picture, he's got a thinner frame. You probably are gonna put 15, 20 more pounds on him in the next 3 years, I would imagine, just from getting older and kind of putting on grown man weight. But this is a guy who was not targeted in his zone very much at all in college. Just quarterbacks refused to throw it his way because he was such a ball hawk, really. Very instinctual, good at tracking the ball, making plays on the ball. Again, his hips aren't great because of how tall he is. He's kind of got high hips. It's hard for him to turn and accelerate, decelerate, and accelerate again. So he's not a guy that you want to play in man. You'll probably have him play up top, and that's it. You'll have him just roam up there, whether it's cover 2, cover 1, cover 3, cover 6. I think this is a guy who you could just go man underneath, cover 1 up top, and just have him track. I think that's probably where he's best at. He's not a guy that's going to come down and help in the run game or anything like that. And you really don't want him playing man. He can't play on the outside. He's not physical enough, and he's on the inside. He doesn't have good enough footwork. And again, we've talked about the hips. He's not going to really do anything against slot receivers. So again, he's not physical enough for tight ends, I don't think. This is a safety who's going to stay up top, which is fine. He does that really, really well, and that's why he's here at number 3. All right, going down to number 2. This is probably the best deep single high safety that we have in college football right now. It's Andrew Makuba from Clemson. He's 6 feet tall, 190 pounds, and he's your free safety. Whether it's cover one, cover three, you're gonna have him up top, and he's gonna make sure nothing gets past him. You try to throw a deep ball, you think that you've got something open because they beat a corner a little bit. No, he saw it, and he's flying over there. He's gonna get the ball out there. It's a pick. So he's very exciting to watch as well. He's a good athlete, not a great athlete. It doesn't matter. He's got good enough instincts that are going to make up for his lack of elite athleticism. He's a good enough athlete, and um, he's got good instincts when it comes to ball tracking. That he's going to be fine playing up top. I promise you that. He might run a 4.6 honestly, but he's probably more of a 4.55 guy. Um, and that's about it. He's going to be playing up top. You're not going to want him down in the slot because he's just not a great man guy. He doesn't really know and understand when the wide receiver is playing off of his body. He doesn't recognize routes where he can jump it in man coverage. So it's best to just keep him up top and let him make plays up there because that's where he's going to be best anyways. All right, our number one guy, Javon Bullard from Georgia, 5'11", 180 pounds. So he's small. He's very small for the safety position. You would almost think that he is a nickel defender, which he can be a nickel defender. He's not the best in man coverage. You see sometimes where he's playing guys beautifully in man, so they move him around the defense a lot at Georgia. And there's sometimes that he plays man very well. There's other times where it's like, man, this dude's a liability in man coverage. So his zone is phenomenal. He understands not just dropping to grass, but understanding the routes that are being ran behind him, when he needs to cross, when he needs to get off and come downhill. Elite ball skills, elite instincts. That's why he's number one. And he's also not afraid to tackle. At 5'11", 180 pounds, he's not afraid to tackle. You would think with how fluid of an athlete he is and the instincts that man coverage will come. Maybe he just needs some more time to develop it, but I think he's a nickel defender that specializes in zone. You can probably play him up top. That'll be fine. I think he's a guy that can move all around the defense. Just probably won't lock him up man to man on a tight end especially, but even on a slot receiver, I just don't really see him being able to lock down a slot receiver unless you kind of work with him and he gets better at that. So we'll see this year if he can get better at that. I mean, this dude is if he can become a good slot corner as well, you're talking about a top 20 pick, I think. All right, here's some honorable mentions. There's a bunch of names on here because I did not get to watch all of these guys, sadly, but I've been hearing a lot of good things with them, and I've been hearing some people putting these guys in their top 5. I haven't gotten around to watch them. I only watched these 5 guys that I ranked. So I just want to give these guys some love. We've got 2 guys from Miami. We've got Cameron Kinchins, who's a safety at Miami, also with James Williams from Miami. I've heard James Williams' name before. I don't recall what he's good at, though. I haven't gotten to watch the tape. Akeem Dent is a guy who I really like watching. Again, there's always Florida State guys. It seems like every single one of these lists I have at least one Florida State guy. So I liked watching him from what I saw from him just watching games, not breaking down film. So I'm excited to actually see some film of him and actually break down and see what he's seeing. Rod Moore from Michigan is another guy who's getting a ton of love right now. Latham Ransom is another guy from Ohio State who's getting a bunch of love. And Tyler Nubin from Minnesota is another guy that I had to put on this list. He's been in the league for so long, doing so well. Again, I just didn't get to break down his film, so I don't get to bring it to you guys. But I want you guys to know these names for when college football week 1 comes around and you know Minnesota's playing. Okay, let's see what that safety does. Oh, Ohio State's playing Michigan. Okay, let's watch these 2 safeties battle it out. So I'm going to be watching these guys, and I'm excited to actually get my hands on some of their tape and be able to break that down. So that's all we've got for this week. we got on Monday, we have corners. I know everyone's excited for corners. And then Wednesday, we'll wrap it up with quarterbacks. I had to save that for last. I had to keep you guys wanting it. I also wanted to watch some more film because this quarterback class, everyone knows who number one is. It's Caleb Williams, spoiler alert. But there's like 10 to 12 guys that you could argue should be in the top 5. So it's very exciting. But we'll get to that next week. I appreciate you guys stopping by. If you did enjoy this, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. If there's any guys on here that I didn't mention, obviously there's a lot of guys I did not mention. I think this is a good safety class. Go ahead and put them down in the comment section and kind of describe what you like about them in there, okay? So I'll see you guys on Monday for corners. Have a good day. Peace.